What's up, guys? I don't usually stream from my phone, so I'm trying to figure out the settings for streaming from my phone. Right now, I'm uh, AP Tech. Okay, good to see you. Sorry that you don't have a score yet. Uh, I am pretty sure that you can hear my background noise, and I'm trying to see how to filter that out right now, because the setting doesn't turn on for some reason, which is annoying, but all right, whatever. You're gonna hear a lot of background noise, okay? So hopefully that isn't too distracting. Yeah. So what's up, baby tech? Sorry that you didn't get your score. What's up, man? Did you get an email? Did anybody say? Ooh, what the heck am I doing? Oh, filters. Well, that's unnecessary. Okay. And then ah, boo. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. Uh, if I see four of you guys are here, four of you guys are here. If you have your scores, there we go. Versatile, 700 on English. Chubby, 710 on English. Good job, guys. Thanks for sharing your score. And both of you, if you a couple requests. If you're comfortable sharing your score, uh, let me know what you did to prep, and then let me know. And also, if you're worried about what to do for your next step, like should you study again or whatever, then go ahead and tell me what your worries are. It does help if you can somehow share you know how College Board shares those section by section scores, like the craft and structure and information and ideas and all that stuff. If you can if you can share that as well, but that's more secondary. You don't have to do that right away. But yeah, you don't have to do that right away. It's actually a little distracting. So if you share how you studied and what your next step is and what your worries are, then I can give you some advice. But for now, it looks like those are pretty solid scores, honestly. So good job on getting those scores. Chubby, Chubby's just yeah, just taking it in stride. Good job. Um, what was your did your score like improve over the last like couple? If it's the fourth time taking the test, what that's like a whole year maybe, like junior year to senior year. So I'm guessing you probably saw some natural improvement just from studying at school. What was your first SAT score? Oh, dude, that's so natural. Yeah, look at that. 1310, 1360, 1450, 1500. All right. I'm going to try to stabilize my hand, but I'm also just really awkward about doing this stream on my phone. I don't have a tripod on me. So, yeah, we'll just work with it. Um, let's see 1520. But oh, versatile, you're also very similar. 1320, 1420. Dude, versatile and chubbies, you basically like the same person. Okay. Um, yeah, it's really good. That's really good. Study for 3 months. Oof, that's rough, man. 1200 to 1250. Oof, that's rough. It sounds like you probably panicked a little on the real test. And now you're hoping for 1530? 15. Wait, AP Tech, are you saying that you got a 1490 as well? So you went from 1200 to 1250 to 1490? That's crazy, dude. That's a huge jump. Um, Huge jump. If you made that jump, I'm curious how you made that jump. Versatile's asking an important question. Do I need to worry about the artificial threshold of 1500 you set in your brain now that you have 10 less? Um, I know why that's kind of uncomfortable, and I do think it's not total bullshit to consider that second digit, 1 4 versus 1 5. I do think, don't call me the reading daddy. Do not do that. The I will say though, it really does depend on your target school, versatile. So if you I recommend, like, I can't share my screen with you, but I do recommend just like quickly Googling your target school, and as well as your reach school, and especially if you're Asian. I know they're not going to specifically collect data on whether you're Asian or not, but they're going to basically find out if you're Asian or not with some certainty. So, especially if you're Asian, I do recommend trying to be in the top like 80th percentile. I'm not really a college consultant expert, so it depends. But I think it's just safer to be in the top, in the top, like basically the top 20%, the 80th percentile or above. And usually they don't share the 80th, now that I think, but they share the 75th percentile. Okay, so if you go to your university, this university that you're interested in, and you look up the 25th to 75th percentile SAT score range, then ooh, that doesn't matter. Okay, versatile, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you are in the world. It matters what the percentile is for that school, not for your school, for the school that you want to go into. So let me actually look it up right now. I have to drop my phone real quick, but if I look it up for Harvard, for example, okay, uh, although who knows if Harvard even has stopped sharing these scores, but anyway, Harvard SAT score percentiles. Okay, now this is not from Harvard itself, but the very first thing on Google says the 25th percentile is 1460, and then the 75th percentile is 1570. So for an Asian, I would actually recommend that you have a 1570 or above if you want to go to Harvard, because the world is like, as an Indian, you want to you want to have uh, like, the sad reality of the world is that you just have to compete more on these scores. So so that is what it is. Um, Let me see. That's from just a random website. Let me look at Georgia Tech right now. Georgia Tech, SAT percentiles. So literally, the search term I'm using is, I mean, I can't share my screen with you right now, but Georgia Tech SAT percentiles. That's literally what I'm searching. Okay, and it says that for Georgia Tech, the 75th percentile is 1550. So that's a high score. So in that case, it's not really about getting a 1500. It's more about getting 1550. You know what I mean? That's like like you need to do more right now, Chubby. Was it Chubby's or was it Versatile? It was Versatile. You just need to do more. I would say, and I don't want to, I don't want to downplay maybe your other accomplishments. Like, if you have other accomplishments that can kind of make up for the 1550, then you know it's possible that you can get it without that 50-50, without being in the 75th percentile. But as an Asian, honestly, I would not expect it. I would not expect it. I don't think it's realistic to expect that you're gonna, because there's gonna be some other Asian, by the way, some other Indian who has a 50-50 and also very similar profile as you, and they're gonna get in and not you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just the way the world is. You gotta. I recommend having the 75th percentile. Look it up for your school. Um, yeah, yeah. You don't need a 1550 on your first try. Georgia Tech will still account for the fact that you can grow. Like, if you took the SAT in your sophomore year, you got 1350, and junior year 1450, and then senior year 1550. Georgia Tech is going to be reasonable about that. Like, you grew from 1350 to 1550, so that's going to be fine. Georgetown, right? Georgetown is actually the one. Anyway, regardless, if there's any school where you have to show all your scores up front, which is mainly Georgetown, I don't think there's any other right now at this moment. They will still factor in your growth. So the main reason they want you to send all your scores is because they want to check if you're one of those kids that take it in December, March, April, May, June, August. Like, you're just constantly taking it over and over and over and over. And like, certain schools want to disincentivize that kind of thing. So um, so that's why they will do it. But it's only Georgia. It's only Georgetown that does that, so it doesn't really matter. Kin, uh, I'm sad that you want. I'm sad that you scored a 1150 even though you wanted 1400 as well. That's rough, man. It does sound like though if you're at the 1150 range, you have some very basic things to improve on. You can improve on your grammar. I mean, you haven't given me the reading, writing, and math breakdown, but I'm going to guess you're scoring somewhere in the range of like 550 to 600 for reading, writing. And then if you look at the four what do you call it, like the ratings or whatever they call that, right? For like the different subsections. I'm gonna guess that you're actually you're not 100% on grammar. Testing, testing, testing. Is that working right now? Okay, is it? Okay, that's good. All right. So, what was the last thing I was saying? I was talking about. Oh, Ken, yeah. So if you're scoring 1150, I'm gonna guess you're getting somewhere in the range. You're like not hitting 600 consistently on the reading, writing. Dude, you gotta start with real basics right now. You like basically, all the hard questions. Um, wait, you're probably 600. That's kind of awkward. So are you getting the easy module or are you getting the hard module? I think the first goal is to get into the hard module, and so whenever you take a practice test, you really want to review basically the entire first module, except for like about three questions. Three of those questions in the first module are still going to be far too hard for you. Okay, like two, three questions in the first module are not really going to be worth your time and effort, but all the other ones, you want to be consistently getting something like a hang on, it's 27 questions, right? So you want to be getting all of the writing questions right, okay? Every single one. So from like question 15-ish to 27-ish, right? 15-ish to 27, you want to get all of those questions right. And that is the number one priority. And then number two is it's harder to kind of generalize honestly, but I would then start prioritizing word and context, which is the first three or four or five questions. Word and context is not easy actually. Sometimes they are, but generally speaking, they're not easy. But they will teach you how to actually read the passage. Also, Ken, I'm guessing if you're getting a 1150, you didn't really watch a lot of my streams. I'm guessing, like you probably don't know a lot about like my strategies or whatever. But I do recommend kind of just watching the way I solve, because the way I solve is that it's very much oriented around reading the actual passage. At your score level, there's a lot of cheats. There's a lot of tips and tricks that teachers will teach, like don't read the passage and do like certain things with ABCD. But if you want to improve long term for 1400, dude, you got to learn to read. You can't just rely on all these tips and tricks and all these little to improve your score, because that's not going to get you to a 1400. Okay, I think those hacks work until about 650, and then they really stop paying off after 650. So watch the way that I solve the actual practice test. Blue Book. If you just Google Blue Book, SAT Blue Book one reading writing, my video should pop up, and go and just like watch and solve it first. Solve it before you watch mine, but then solve it first and then see, and then compare the way you solve it versus the way I solve it. You'll notice that I'm much slower on the reading, but I take my time with the reading, and I don't take a lot of time on process elimination. AP Tech has a brother who got 1400 in the practice test with 7. Wow, 720. Oh, perfect 720 on the PSATs. Yes, yes, yes. Sounds really good. Sounds really good. Good, good for your brother, man. Um, and then let me see. We have Versatile. We have 21 universities based on engineering rankings. Shortlist them. Dude, that's actually not my that's really not my specialty, and that actually is really hard. The EAED decision, because the EAED decision is basically a college research. You need to learn what school you want to go to, what school you're realistically able to get into, and you know, and yeah, that there's a whole paid services field of college consulting that specializes in this, and I'm not a specialist in this. I do not study the university admissions trends and whatnot. I don't know all the ins and outs of which schools take what kind of students. I know generally because I'm an American and I went to Chicago, so I know general information, but I don't have like really specific inside knowledge on that stuff. So I recommend just like using multiple sources. I mean, if you do have some money, then you could actually consider getting a college consultant to help you make that college list. But you can, before spending any money, I actually do recommend just doing your own research for a bit. Go to your school teachers if your school teachers are experienced with sending students to the United States. School teachers or counselors. Go to Reddit if you're especially if your school teachers and counselors are not experienced with sending kids to the United States. Then go find more sources like Reddit and especially if you're like an engineering type and you're already comfortable with making like spreadsheets. Start making a spreadsheet of just various columns there are for like the things that matter to you. I'm sure there's like a really good Reddit post somewhere about this that I haven't looked up, but I'm sure it exists. Okay, like how you can start ranking your schools for eligibility for early action, early decision. Uh, you're what? Your seventh grade, your 11-year-old brother knows calc, dude. Your brother is so OP, man. It's so insane. Okay, so I guess that is wild. Um, okay, well, hey, if there are other viewers, please share your scores and let me know what you did to study. I'm not going to stick around for very long. I just wanted to check in to see how everyone's feeling about their like. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of on vacation. There's a whole like my voice filtering still doesn't work, right? So you can like hear all the background noise still. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't. Yeah. Oh wow. When I try to do the when I try to do the voice filtering, the whole video stops. That's kind of annoying. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if you could tell there. I'm in a whole situation. There's like a big like event that I'm participating in, like a networking event. So I can't stay that much longer. But anyone who's here, if you just got your ICT scores, let me know what your most recent one was, and also your general ICT score progression. And please break out the reading from your most recent score so that I can know how well you're doing. And then if you have any concerns about what your next step should be, go ahead and share that as well. If there's no one else with that kind of question, then I'll probably have to peace out pretty quickly. I'll wait for anything else. Um, Let me see. Chubby's got 1080 at the very beginning. Damn, that's a huge improvement. Okay. Well, good job, guys, on all your SATs, dudes. See. All right. No one else is sharing their scores, it seems like. Uh, uh, AP Tech is like my hype man right now. Yeah, I mean, reading is reading at the end of the day. At the end of the day, reading is reading, and LSAT, MCAT, and I mean, I haven't taken an MCAT test before. I have taken a GMAT before and LSAT before. I mean, um, usually the first two or three tests, I have to get accustomed to the test format or whatever. But then after that, at the end of the day, reading is reading. It's not like the SAT reading is a fundamentally different skill from like LSAT reading. Although it's harder, like the LSAT is harder because the content is harder. but the skills are the same. And so that's kind of like a big motivator for me because I do think reading isn't really being taught. You know, what's being taught is like stupid little like statistical games, like if A has a period and D has a semicolon, then don't choose A or D. Like that's a dumb statistical game. I mean, it's not totally dumb because there's good reasoning behind stuff like that, but like word and context questions. Oh, if A and C are synonyms, then they're both wrong, right? Like that may be true, that may not be true. Like it actually depends. You know what I mean? It depends on actually the reading. So there's like a lot of like things that get taught, but not reading. Reading doesn't get taught. Like it's like that's like the annoying thing. And the skill that I have, the reason I get like perfect scores or whatever, is because no one's teaching the actual reading part. They're just teaching little tricks, which is much easier to teach because it's like it gives you a false sense of security. Like, oh, if I just follow these little tricks, then you know I'll get a better score or whatever. And it does help, by the way. These tricks are not totally useless. If they were totally useless, then they wouldn't be being taught at all. But they're mostly useful for kids who are not hitting 650 yet. If you're at the 500 level and you're completely lost and you're like your time management is completely fucking bonkers because you don't understand anything that you're reading, then yeah, I mean, like then these little statistical tricks will help you feel some sense of clarity on what to do, which is so I'm not totally against these tricks. It's just that long term, if you want to break past 650, if you want to get towards 700, 720, 750, right? You do need to learn to identify transitions within the passages, identify rhetorical functions, like what is this, like, oh, this is the claim, this is the reason for the claim, this is evidence for the reason for the claim. You need to be able to like learn to break down passages and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's a big part of my reasoning for why I might just, go and do LSAT and GMAT and other stuff because those are more fun too. By the way, the SAT is a little too easy to teach, so it's it's more fun to do something where I could actually like the SAT. I mean, sometimes I do make mistakes, but it's not very likely that I'm going to make a mistake. Whereas LSAT and GMAT, I mean, they're much harder, so it's more fun to stream because or I would expect it to be more fun to stream because it'd be more chaotic for me, it'd be more stressful for me, right? It's harder for me. So yeah, I do want to do that at some point in the future. UT Austin's 2021 data says 75th percentile is 1450. Yeah, 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 yeah. If assuming that the rest of your application is competitive, now as an international student, there is a separate vector of like how stringent they are with international students, especially from India or whatnot. But yeah, I would say I would say that does give you a decent chance. Okay, it does look like there's no other real questions on. No one else is sharing their SAT scores, so I'm gonna head out. It's been 25 minutes. I should head out. But hey, everyone, you just took the test. You got your score. Congratulations on completing the IELTS SAT. Now, whatever your next step is, good luck with that. Whether it's taking the SAT again in October, or it's just moving on to other parts of your sort of academic career, I wish you luck, and I hope that any little influence I had on you was positive. And if you want to, stay more connected to me, I do intend to be more active in YouTube starting about 2 weeks from now, because I have to go to the States for stuff and like a wedding and all the stuff. So about 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to become much more active on YouTube, and I'm going to be working on my big project, which is to write hundreds of SAT questions. So I'll keep you guys updated in 2 weeks. But until then, if you just want to stay kind of loosely in touch, I will be in and out of my Discord server, and the link will be is in the description down here somewhere. So go ahead and join the server if you haven't already. All right. Thanks everyone for joining, and good luck on the SAT and everything else in your life. All right. Until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.